Yes? Okay, Calimera, good morning to everybody. I am Stefano Peyretti. I am an Italian architect, and I'm in love with this island from over 40 years, because the first time I came here was 1978 with Enrico Toia, that's my uncle. I'm not here to build something with concrete, I'm not here to build a new house, but with Enrico we tried to build a new team, an Italian team. We've called it team, because I think they are all top players. It can be a support for the association, Elafoniso Seco, and for this beloved island. We have here my dear friend Paolo Verri, community developer, has worked for Olympic Games, Expo, Capitals of Culture, and I think he will bring us some important news from the future. So we have Claudio Oliva, director of Genova Blue District. 30 years of work in the public administration, now director of the Instrument for the Economy of the Sea, of the city of Genoa, will teach us how to manage the blue economy in the island of Elafonisos. Then Lorenzo Müller, European Union founding expert, just back from Hong Kong, tell us how to bring some money to the island, because we need some money to start. And then Edo Colombo, tourist expert, digital innovator, one of the first Italian working around the web, and consultant for all Italian Ministry of Tourism. I think he will explain us how digitalization is an incredible opportunity for this island. So if you want to start with Paolo. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stefano. We have a presentation, I think. I cannot see really. It's there. Okay. Thank you, everybody. It is my great pleasure to be here. Last year I've been here only through the web, but this year is amazing. It's a very big honor to have here the Prince from Monte Carlo, from Monaco, and it was, I think, the first time that ever such a personality arrived in the island, and I wanted to give a big applause again to Enrico Toia for everything he's doing for this island, and not only because, you know, this is an opportunity for all the island. The presentation has been really great, and we totally appreciate. I think that we cannot only to have a focus on something very detailed, but we can have a perspective what Elafonisos, what Greece in some sense. I have been in Greece the first time in 1983 in Santorini, and was totally different from now. And I visited Paros, Antiparos, and almost 45 islands all around the coast of Turkey, near Peloponnese, going on the borders to Macedonia. So here is the core of everything. Oh, yesterday night we have a beautiful party hearing Melina Mercouri singing, but Melina Mercouri, we have to remember, she has been the Minister of Culture that launched in 1985 everything about the role of culture to transform Europe and to put Europe as an innovator, you know, in a global context. But what will happen, we have not only the duty and the opportunity to look at the past, but especially we have to look forward. What will happen towards 2050? What kind of young community could be involved? How young people could stay with us? How we can bring money, but also bring talent, investors? So we have not to maintain the quality, but to innovate, because world is moving forward and very, very fast. First is on the right side of your video, and here in the room also you see this beautiful map that has been made by young of Elafonisos school, and because Elafonisos is really the top place to test the future. How and in which manner? Next, please. Matteo. Next. Next. Okay. There is a, George Orwell do not only wrote 1984, but also several essays about the future and how to merge tradition with innovation. And he has been a very strong teacher for us all around the Mediterranean area. And he has been quoted in this very interesting book that came out last Christmas from Monocle. That is 50 essays, 50 short essays about a brighter future, especially the second one by Hamish McRae that just published a book that is World in 2050, How to Think About the Future, published by Bloomsbury, quoted 5 areas in which we have to work. And I totally connected for the former presentation of Zana. The first point is government. And I have to add governance. We cannot do and we cannot succeed in any innovation if we have not a strong governance. Today we have the project Clean Blue, yesterday the project Daphne. There are several projects all around Europe. We are devoted to do something in each communities, but if we have not a big picture and connect it all together, not only through IT, but through a new identity, well, this will not have really add value. The other 4 words are people, environment, technology, and economy. We have to remember that economy is not the starting point. It's one of the tools about the future. What we have to build up is a new kind of society. Society actually is not what we need. The society in which we work, in which we live, in which we enjoy, and in which we stress also is totally devoted to store something and not to share something. So the right word is how to share contents, how to share ideas for a better community building. And this is very strong, for example, in the Italian tradition by the Olivetti example, very big entrepreneurs. That is a leader that came 50 years before Steve Jobs. And Steve Jobs learned a lot from Olivetti. So we are deeply rooted from Europe into also the other Western countries. Please, next one. I just published a book that's called The Urban Paradox, that is the story of 9 different cities, 3 Italian, Milan, Turin, Matera, 3 European, Lyon, Barcelona, and Wrocław, and 3 all over the world, Pittsburgh, Istanbul, and Tokyo. Very different size. The period is 1992, 2022, but in the last 30 years, cities all around the world show it to us that cities are really the place where it is possible to change, not the states. States struggle each other to have more power in the world, but we do not need more power. It's not to be powerful, the finalizations of our life. Our life has to be happy. The work we have to do is to get more happiness. And the mayor, they used to work in this kind of cities, they are looking forward with their communities about happiness. How to be more happy, have to have the right time for the right choice on everyday life. Is it possible to get from this model, that is a city-based model, into a more peripheral overview, let me say, in the rural Ireland, in the seaside Ireland. My friend Claudio Oliva from Genoa, I used to work with him for 1 year and a half in the project The Ocean Race. He will explain a little bit. Will show you that, of course, it's possible to merge also the metropolitan area as such large as Genoa or Marseille or Athens, with very small community all around the Mediterranean Sea. So I think that we have new models, and new models could bring us into new realities. Next one, please. And I have to run because we have not really time to focus. Could you have the next one, please? And I want only to remember that Yuval Noah Harari, one of the greatest writers of our time, wrote this third book of his series that is after Sapiens and Homo Deus, stressed the idea of 5 different couple of words that we have to think about a lot. Openness, that is us to be linked with the tradition. And I think that actually there are no more left party or right party in the world, but people that are open to innovation and people that want to bring more wall. People that are totally, thinking about bricks and people that want to overcome the bricks with brains. We need more brains and less bricks all over. Demography and ecology are totally connected. Europe is becoming elder and elder. The population of Europe is decreasing a lot. We lost 5 million people per year. And also in Greece, that is a relatively young society, we are losing population. Elaphonisos has to look forward how to bring young people not to stay here the week of Elaphonisos, Eco Week, that is a very big support of Enrico mindset, but all time long. We need more educational place. We need a place where to share. Here we have 10 artists working actually, but we do not need only artists. We do not people working about high tech, people that work about a new kind of agriculture, people that work about plastic disease and knowing that, merging everything in a new kind of communities, we can look forward. Actually, 500 people are too less people to have a strong island during all the 12 months of Elaphonisos. And this is the same in most of the 950 islands of Greece. We need more people, but why Greece is stopping at the border, the immigration? Migration is not possible to stop. Migration will last for 1 century more, and we have to think about the American model century is based from 1880 till 1921 to happen what happened in Ellis Island. Ellis Island has the entry point for around 14 million of Italians in between 1880 and 1912, and almost the 50% of Irish population. And Irish and Italian bring into the US context the more, innovative wave, actually, and not only in US, I mean also in Canada, also in Mexico, also, of course, in Germany and in Belgium. So this kind of melting pot is not erasing our identity, but is bringing new idea and new identity. Of course, this is also about innovation and fear. Everybody fear about how to lose our soul. But why? Our soul is to share what we need and what we want to let live better together. Of course, this is also linked to safety and nomadism, very important concept that I will pass through in a while. But again, I want to stress the idea that we have not to store anything, money or grain or water, but sharing. The word of the future is how to share our brains into a new model of communities. Please, next. I'm arriving at the end of my presentation to introduce some tools that from Claudio living in Genoa towards how to bring money from Europe into the local communities, my friends Lorenzo Muller, and also how to use digitalization to share everything at global level. So Mediterranean Sea will be not only the art of culture, as in the Melina Marconi ideas, but really the place of next development. Actually, we are so strong in tourism, especially in Italy, Spain, and Greece, because the southern part of the Mediterranean area is totally under attack, okay? In Morocco, in Libya, in Syria, even in Egypt. Of course, there is the struggle in between Israeli and Saudi Arabia, a little bit better last 5 years. Something is changing. The discussion in between Iran and Iraqi is coming better, but we have to go faster. We are losing time towards what we really need for younger generation. Next, please. So this challenge, next. Gaia Vims just came out with this important book about nomad century and how climate migration will reshape our world. So we have around 1 billion people moving from Africa all over the world. Most of them are very young. Most of them came also from very talented countries, not only from the sub-Saharan areas, that of course is the most poor and the most inefficient at a global level, also in climate change, but also from Ethiopia, for example, of Nigeria, that are very key point of the planet. You remember that all the humankind came from Ethiopia. Everybody of us has a part of DNA that is from Ethiopia, okay? Because the first migration is 12,000 million years ago, where a lot of population move all around. So we have a piece of Africa in every soul of our mankind. But now we are the third migration, as Telmo Pievani, famous scientist in Italy, is telling us, and especially Gaia explain that this kind of migration is the very important migration. So we have to think as a guest and not as aggressors to the people coming through the Mediterranean Sea. This is very important. And Greece, because it's typical to be merged with this kind of, has to be open. Has really to be open, is the front desk of everything, like Italy with Lampedusa, and like also Spain at the border of Morocco. We have to think how to be open in this sense. So that's become a very strong local opportunity. We have to think how many people we need in Elaphonisus and what kind of people we need here, because we have to ask them to come. I made a very short example to conclude my speech. I managed not only the Olympic Games in Turin 2006, the Expo in Milan, being the director of the Italian pavilion about really young talent to attract in Italy in 2015. But my most work in the last 10 years is to be in Matera, relatively small city in the southern part of Italy, 60,000 inhabitants, that in 1948 supposed to be the most poor city in Europe ever, with a lot of people dying before becoming 20. We totally reshaped the idea of Matera. Now Matera is a brighter star into the tourist model of Italy, but that's not the key of the future. Tourism is not the key. It's a part of economic reshaping. So tourism is a tool. It's not about, how to store money and how to wait a tourist to get of a boat or to increase the price of a beer. That is not a strategy. This is only the everyday life. We have to reduce, to compare, and to make possible people to live and work here most of the year. This is possible because of the sun. This is possible because of the wind. We have a lot of energy we are wasting every day because of the sea, because of the wind. So the natural empowerment is very, very strong. It's a very big opportunity. And young people also in this room know better than all the elder people outside. So there is a sort of struggle of that. We have to attract, and for example, in the region around Matera, Basilicata, we did a very strong pact with Airbnb. We had a very small village with 900 people living there, with a lot of people moving around because will be no business more, and we used the tourist strategy to attract talent. So we asked 8 people per year to become our partner and temporary citizen, okay? To test. Let's try. Come in Elaphonisus, stay 1 month, and try to understand if you wanted to live 6 months or 9 months, or maybe better before you retire to stay all life long here and then move all around through Kythera or through Athens or whatever. Okay, there are plenty of people on the planet. It's not only European. I mean, a lot of Russian, Ukraine, that we hope and we a big applause to the process of peace. We have to be devoted to a process of peace and to remain with the identity of a country, but also knowing that peace is only the base for everything. So how to attract these kind of people? We just ask Airbnb to send a message, not to become tourist of the place, but to become, partner of a place. and we reach more than 245,000 people only with a click. And everybody asked to become one of the 8. So we select 8, but we are in contact with more than 200,000. And this is the work. Not have the 8 as a guest, but use the contact with everybody else to start. So the people working here has to look not what is the present day, but what is the day after. So thinking in 5 months, thinking in 5 years, thinking in 15 years. I will conclude, next please, Matteo. By the end of June in Brussels, there is a new important meeting about climate neutral and smart cities. So it's not a fact also of ecology, it's a fact of reshape local economy, especially in small villages all around Europe. There are the 63% of population. So we have, of course, very important metropolitan dimension in Berlin, Paris, London, Rome, Barcelona, Madrid, but it's not the most people living in Europe. The most of the people living in Europe they are living the 63% in a relatively small area like Elafonisos. So Elafonisos is a really good test of future, and everything is in our hands. It's not a fact of politician. Not live in the hands of the prime minister, not live in the hands of the mayor. They have supposed to be our partner, okay? And private has to be merged better with politician, and the policies are not top-down, but the policy has to be made by communities. So working with communities is the only tool for a better life altogether. Thanks for your attention. On the web, you will find also my presentation of last year, 2022, that was more focused and detailed about what to do in Elafonisos, especially towards 2025. In 2025, this island will celebrate 1,650 years from the earthquake that separated the island from the Peloponnesos and from the region. So I think that we have to work since now. I'm an expert about anniversary. I manage 150 years of Italy, and I think that Elafonisos has to start from now working towards 2025. It's only 18 months. It's not 2 years. It's less than 500 days. So we have less than 10,000 hours to work together towards 2025. It's a very short time. Let's start now.